James Cameron he did a magnificent job with that film.
He really did.
Such a great job.
He really did. And, and I'm tired of all these people always going like, oh, all he had to do was swim till another boat picked him up. Like, no.
The waters were too cold.
So then when they say that, I go, you know what you do? You want to know how it was?
Yeah.
You go to your local Red Lobster and ask the staff if you can stick your arm in the lobster tank.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you'll know.
Totally.
You won't last 5 seconds.
Oh, okay. So are you saying that the people who were in the waters after the Titanic died because they were just getting chewed up by lobsters?
No. It's cold.
Oh, okay.
It's cold.
Yeah. Hi, welcome aboard. It's another Below Deck podcast. I'm Dylan. I'm settled up next to one, Patrick Hickey.
Permission to come aboard.
Man with a pool. It's been a long saga. Mm-hmm. I could not be more happy for you. And we'll break down all of it at patreon.com/another podcast network, another podcast show.
I think that's where I'll share the tale. Dylan, a lot can be learned when you're trying to get people, motivate people. Turns out if you threaten to sue them and then you send them a strongly worded letter saying that you will in fact sue them if they don't finish the work that they've been paid for. Right. You couldn't imagine what a motivator that is.
Oh my gosh, can you move mountains like that? Kalen, the producer of the show, is behind my glasses.
Hi, everyone.
I am very annoyed with the fans.
Oh no.
Let's do a public service announcement. We've talked about it. We've told the story. We don't want to victimize ourselves, okay? But our YouTube channel, Donna Brazil, Thief in the Night, we had to start an entirely new YouTube channel. That's very, very hard and frustrating as a business. I hate the way it sounds in here. Kalen comes in here. He's doing shit with the board. I'm hot right now.
Wow. Sound like a diva.
We had our YouTube channel, Donna Brazil, Thief in the Night. Megan Kelly's asking what happened. She's saying it doesn't matter. The emails were stolen.
Where are you going?
We need you guys to go to the fucking Bad TV YouTube channel and subscribe. Okay?
We're almost at 1,000.
There are tens of thousands of you listening to the show. We're not quite at 100,000, but it's nuts. We told the story. It's a harrowing tale. Again, I don't want to complain too much, but we need your help. Go to the YouTube channel, subscribe, badT.v. I'm going to smoke some pot.
Okay, let me just wrap this up, okay? Why don't you just hit pause right now? Why don't you do Dilly and I a favor, especially if you're one of those cheapo people that don't want to pay for our Patreon.
If you're a cheapo and
you owe us.
Fucking... You know what it's like doing this as a business? Pat and I have families, homes, golf balls to buy. I mean, what the fuck?
Yeah, help us out. Come on.
You know what? The good news, silver lining though.
What?
I went to Big Bear over the weekend. Absolutely trash. But I went into a candy shop and found this treat from the 90s that I'm absolutely just in love with again. The 3-color coconut, the Neapolitan coconut. You ever had this?
I don't remember. I remember Neapolitan was a big thing in the 80s. If you buy ice cream, it'd be all 3 flavors.
Right.
Try and save a buck, like that peanut butter with jelly already.
I got to tell you, this stuff has really brightened my day.
Give me a piece, man.
I know that our fans are kind of annoying me, and Kalen came in here, fucked with the board, and everything sounds bad.
This is delicious.
Is that not delicious?
Oh, I bet this is all natural and organic as well.
It's
from
not
the 90s?
that bad for you, though. It was back in the 90s when chemicals they weren't trying to be like stevia. You know what I mean?
Right. They weren't trying to kill you.
And fans are like, get into the show. You know what? Subscribe to the YouTube channel. I don't give a shit. I'll talk about politics.
No, you won't. Hey, let's get into our thoughts and nuts.
Kalen, you want some?
Sure, why not?
Okay. Dylan, do you want me to do my thoughts and knots about what I thought about this
What would you give this 3-color coconut candy bar?
6 out of 10.
Six?
I'm pretty confident that just based on the colors that they do to color
Patrick.
the various pieces of coconut, that it's poison.
Join us on Facebook. If you've ever had these, let us know. So good.
That is delicious, and I don't even like candy or coconut.
What a treat, huh?
We're doing a couple faux pas in the podcasting biz. Eating on mic, bad form,
Yeah.
and then taking too long to get to the content that people are here to, be entertained by.
Thanks for keeping the trains moving.
There you go. All right, let's get into the episode.
Go to the fucking YouTube. I'm going to talk about God knows what for 15 minutes next week if we're not over 1,000.
We got to get over 1,000. Help us out, please. Calm Dylan down. You don't know
I'm
what
going
it's
to talk
like to
about
work
the
with him.
barefoot Contessa for 20 minutes.
Oh, I
and
love
I'm
that.
going to eat more.
Would you like an omelet? What's her husband's name?
Jeffrey.
Oh, Jeffrey, would you like an omelet?
That's a terrible Giada.
Oh, okay.
Not a Giada. I know, excuse me.
Okay. This episode was a true example.
The chocolate has a distinctness, the vanilla has a distinctness, and the strawberry does. I mean, and the three of them together, Neapolitan's Neapolitan for a reason. I'll talk about Ina and Jeffrey for 30 fucking minutes next week.
All right.
1,000.
Now, calm down. Let's get into the show. This episode was an example of why no one should ever take a yacht or one of these yachts as a vacation, as a trip. These boats ruin vacations. These boats are the worst thing that ever happened. This show is the worst thing that ever happened to this industry. You know that.
I thought you were going to say humanity.
No. But it does ruin sea rat lives as well, too, you know? And I was just, when this engine broke down the second time, and it, as Captain Glenn pointed out, not related to the first engine issue, I was like, are you fucking kidding me? You're 4 or 5 episodes in. The boat's already broken down fucking twice.
Yep.
It's a jalopy. It reminded me of my first car, a 1984 Plymouth Reliant.
Or a jalopy?
A jalopy. The boat's a jalopy. It's a hunk of junk. Anyway.
All right.
Can you imagine some husbands say, hey, honey, what do you think this year we do something a little different? We charter one of those yachts. And she says, are you kidding? Have you seen the show Below Deck?
Yeah.
The employees talk badly about the paying customers. The kitchen is normally manned by an insane person. And in the last couple episodes, they almost burned paying customers alive. That goddamn smoke.
What was that?
This last episode, boat was technically on fire. It's leaking oil.
That's so on a technicality.
So that's a smoke.
It was on fire.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So anyway, sidebar.
I'm sorry I'm not helping right now.
That's
very
okay.
Much. I'm just
Karen.
I'm in a funk.
Karen from the first episode. Now, a lot of people weren't fans of her. She listens to the show, by the way, and I have talked to her. She posted on Instagram, I think she's suing a number of companies associated with the show.
Oh, crazy. You know, speaking of her, and I hope you're listening, take your medication. You're fucking out of your mind. You're redoing your handles on social media to be Below Deck Charter. The episode was Charter guest. The episode was yonder. Move on with your life, and definitely don't imbue your entire identity with your appearance on the show, because that would be absolutely insane. Nobody cares.
Well, Dylan, there is some interesting information. I screen grabbed the post here. It turns out, so here's what she says. She says, so there's a couple grammatical errors here, so you always look over
she's in a
the
manic
post.
frenzy.
Okay, so she basically says, I hope every charter after ours speaks their minds about the lack of hiring pretty crew instead of hiring experienced crew. I think she meant the opposite of that, because they do hire attractive people. Then she said, especially at $60,000 for 2 days. Get your shit together, Bravo. # Morgan and Morgan Law. I guess that's the lawyers that she's hiring, you know?
What are we doing right now?
Oh, I was just talking. I was still in my thoughts while you were calming down. I was trying to kill some time until I could.
All right, well, I'm calm. I mean, this is essentially like us bringing in a homeless person and having them talk about things. I mean, you know, this is nuts.
Sure. Okay, well, let me wrap this up. I enjoyed the episode because of just how insanely poorly this crew in this boat is performing for paying customers.
Right.
It is truly, what do you always say about the show, Dylan? It's foisting incompetence on wealthy people.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this episode was.
Yeah.
Thoroughly enjoyed it. 16 knots.
Kaylin?
I was pretty disappointed.
What are you writing down? There hasn't been anything funny yet.
Well, it's for the summary. We did a whole jag on your Neapolitan coconut candy.
Okay.
I feel like that should be noted in the show notes.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's good producing.
I was pretty disappointed by the night out. Do they not go out to clubs? Why aren't they going out to clubs anymore? Like, I don't understand. They just go straight back to the boat, and still not much happened. Yeah, kind of okay episode, I guess. But I did get a lot of enjoyment out of Gary getting all butthurt about Mads flirting with Alex again. So I'll bump it up to about 33.
33 knots.
I mean, let's not do that again. Fucking asking questions and shit in the middle of fucking. All right. Gary, you need to figure it out. Gary, you're awful. I mean, the wings are singed. I mean, the kid just flew way too close to the sun. You can see it on his face.
It's very red.
He's just losing his mind over this kind of, I mean, Freudian field day kind of thing where this, I mean, we've talked about it before. You know, the guy in the Ed Hardy at Laurel Tavern hitting on girls, they're yucked out. Mm-hmm. But it's this thing where he's like at a cataclysm of identity and he's losing his fucking mind.
Well, let me tell you something. He's very limited on his identity. The man has no hobbies because if you asked him what he truly enjoys out of life,
smoking and pussy,
inhaling carcinogens, drinking himself into a stupor.
Don't say inhaling carcinogens.
And banging sea rats.
Yeah.
The man has probably not played a single round of golf his entire life.
And you don't need to.
Well, take some piano lessons then.
Take a piano lesson.
Hey, golf never gave anybody chlamydia, Gary. Okay?
Well, I don't know. Down in Florida, you never know what's in the air. It's
hey, Al, why'd you give up golf?
Okay.
I'm just saying. There are
Can you note that down? That was...
Sure. He is up in his head. Take it down a notch. Take it down a notch. Enjoy yourself.
Did you note that?
I noted it.
All right.
Jesus fucking Christ.
I told you I'm not in a good mood today.
Well, you know, be a professional.
Patrick, I'm attempting to be a professional. You know, every once in a while, I can come in here and be a little pouty. Now, I understand, you know, it should never happen. But, I mean, how many fucking episodes have we done? And how many... Maybe cut that out, Kaylin. I don't know. I mean, my God.
I made another note.
Thank you. All right. Let's get into the show.
Okay.
4. Oh, also, hey, Jim, you don't know these people. They don't know you.
You gave a sea rat a foot massage, you creepy bastard.
What are you doing, dude? They don't know you. And we'll get into it.
But they're only pretending to enjoy it because you're paying them. Just know that.
The familiarity that this man has with these people who, I'll say it again, they have no idea who he is. And they have an idea of who he is, but they don't know him. I mean, Daisy, what have you been up to? What kind of question is that? All right. So, last we left off, the Sea Dog and Gary were at each other's throats. Mm-hmm. Daisy and Gary are at each other's throats. The Sea Dog and Daisy are at each other's throats. I mean, the whole thing's gone boobs up.
Yeah, it's hard to see. You like to see the threesome all get along. You know, the OGs. You know, they need to hold the fort.
You know that tarot card reader from Vanderpump that lives in that backyard back there?
He could probably hear us talking right now.
Yeah,
the walls are connected.
I can hear one of his baker's dozen dogs. You've done something with this board. I'm enraged at you right now. All right, so Daisy says Colin needs to shut the fuck up and know his place. My God, Daisy. Mm-hmm. You sound like me. Oh, grumpy pants. My God. So Gary and Sea Dog make up. Gary says, sorry it got so deep, bro. It didn't.
Yeah. You know, I was thinking.
You're arguing over a cig break.
This beef gets squashed pretty quickly. And I was like trying to analyze. I'm like, it's not because they're forgiving people. It's because there are more important matters at hand, which are getting blackout drunk,
right?
Sucking down some cigs, like your life depends on it.
Inhaling carcinogens.
And trying out that angry pirate on Mads.
See, we are going to bleep some stuff tonight.
You might need a bleep here. That's why you go to Patreon, because you hear.
All right, let me guess.
Okay.
All right.
It's called the Angry Pirate.
Angry Pirate. Okay. All right. So, Kaylin, get ready to note this down.
Another note.
Okay. So definitely has to do with. Right?
Very
well,
good,
let me
sir.
keep going. It's definitely has
Because a pirate always has one eye.
one
closed.
eye. So and what else do they have?
Are you blinding me? With-
What else do they have? A peg leg. So
That's right.
This is what I think it is, right? So you blind it. Then while they are working on that whole thing, you either break or chop one of
You
their legs.
step on their foot, and then they hop around the room like they got one leg. Are you blinded me? With
Right.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Well done, Dylan.
Thank
That's
you.
called the Angry Pirate. Anyway, that's why Gary and Colin were to work through their differences so quickly, because he wanted to try that on Mads ASAP.
Yeah. Well, something happens to Mads where she's violently ill at the thought and sight of him while the sun is high in the sky. And then at night, she, for some reason, is okay with him. All right, so Gary says he kissed Mads, so he can't kiss any of the other girls, which is this odd thing to kind of present as principled. Because, I mean, what are we doing here? I mean, you're just a suntanned bag of leather walking around this boat just trying to have sex with whoever. He does this thing where he's like, I now have to commit to her, which is absolutely insane. I think we've seen him on boats past hook up with multiple women, and he's also told Alex that he's not going to do that. So I feel like this is Morgan Freeman right here.
Yeah.
Where's Gary? You know what I mean?
This loser's really struggling because if we really look back on his past couple seasons, he's always being pursued. So this is confusing for him because now he's on the chase and he can't figure it out.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, he had a girl last season. I think her name was Eat Ashley or something like that. She something like that.
Can you note
It
that?
happened.
Can you note
It
that?
happened.
Yeah.
It happened.
Note that. Yeah. All right. So, Gary is Gary. Daisy and Alex. Well, herein lies, I think, the engine of this entire downfall. You know, he had some kind of crude little mechanism on the back of the wings while he was flying up there towards the sun, getting all sunburnt and shit. And the thing driving the descent down into fucking national embarrassment is heartbreak. He says something about how Alex and Daisy were making out while he wasn't there. And he says it in a way that's like, oh, that's still very, very much in your craw. That's very up in your heart. You're a lovesick puppy.
Sounds like a sex addict to me.
Yeah, because you could say that he is jealous or that he cares, but I think he just wants to control. I think he just wants to have everything open because he's a crazed kind of sex octopus.
I bet if you did one of those brain scans on his brain when the smoke was coming out of that back of the boat about what where his head was at during that period, I bet he's like, I really want to have sex with Matt. It's like, Gary, you could die.
Right. All right, let's get to dinner with Jacopo and Alessio. Chase is a ton here, huh?
Oh, he's a lot. I love the guy. Oh, by the way, I think in the middle of this episode, we're going to...
I'm going to put that out on Thursday. We'll do... you'll have this one, and then Thursday we did an interview with Chase. Fun interview.
Great guy. Gave some dirt.
Listen to the show. Very, very good at talking shit. It was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Thursday.
Because we've said some yucky things about Chase, but...
Good sport.
Great sport. Had a lot of fun. So he's annoying at this dinner, right? He's like,
Very.
He's like chicken nuggets and watermelon. It's like, dude, we're at a Sardinian tasting menu, okay? Chase, pre-workout is speed. I mean, we'll talk about it, but you got to stop doing pre-workout just to get through the day. I mean, that's nuts. Have an espresso. Okay. Also, it's like wild berry mountain blast. Why do you want to have that in the middle of the day? That's disgusting.
Hey, can I do a meanwhile?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Lucy, we learned that she forgot to put her kneeboard down.
Whoa, Pat.
Yeah.
That's actually not her name.
Lucky.
Yeah.
Lucky forgot to put her kneeboard down. Yeah. And that's a crucial piece of hardware for these vessels,
Yeah.
It's the only thing that stands between a drunk sea rat flying out of their bunk like a fucking flying squirrel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
A little sugar
and breaking
glider.
their neck.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that Eat Ashley girl, she did like a full-on faceplant last season with that.
Saw this video of a guy in Echo Park. He's throwing his sugar glider up in the air because he has one. Fucking hawk comes down. I think we talked about this, right? That's why you don't own Rodentia? That's why you don't buy Rodentia? Pat, what flavor are you on?
Chocolate.
Doesn't it have a distinct chocolate flavor?
I don't want to shit on your point, but I think they all taste the same.
Well, you're a tongue blind moron. That's why. All right, I'm so hot tonight. All right, so Sea Dog and Daisy, the tensions still linger, and then jealousy strikes. Alex and Mads are a little flirty at one end of the table, and Gere is growing a kind of Acme Tom and Jerry kind of cartoonish red. The dinner wraps up, and Mads finds herself in a walkway by the ocean, surrounded by all the men again, and
all smoking ciggies.
And she goes.
It was a beautiful outlook point too. It's like, you guys, you're going to be inhaling nicotine right here. Jesus fucking Christ!
Why is fucking with you right now?
What do you mean?
What are you, fucking Ronald Reagan tonight?
Well, it's just you're losing the moment. You know.
You're losing the moment.
Yeah. You look out at that beautiful view. You don't never know how many sunrises or sundowns you have, Dylan. Why waste it just sucking down those ciggies, you know?
You're saying tobacco ruins moments and vistas?
I think so.
Mm-hmm. Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
How about a nice glass of wine?
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You think Hemingway wasn't taking in moments where he was stabbing soldiers?
Didn't he kill himself?
I don't know. I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. But it wasn't the nicotine. It was the insanity. And probably the drinking. All right. Was it World War I or World War II? Which one was he in?
Oh, he died in the 50s.
Okay, so that's going to be World War I. Mads is like, why am I always surrounded by guys? And it's like, listen, I don't want to do this thing, and I'm not slut-shaming, because it's not a slut-shamey kind of thing, but it's just this boy-crazy kind of thing where the boy-crazy ones are like, why am I always surrounded by boys? It's like, there's a thing that's going on here. I'm not slut-shaming.
No one's accused you of that.
You see what I'm talking about?
No one accused you of that. You're up in your head. Hey, something happens here that I am truly bothered by, though. Alex, because he's more concerned about work environment, decides to back off of Mads, leaving a gaping wide hole or opportunity, Jesus Christ, for Gere to make his move on Mads.
No, you don't need to note that, but it was, you didn't need to say gaping.
Anyway, yeah. Gere moves in on Mads. Really, you like being a second fiddle there, Gere, huh? I guess it just all works out for you.
And I like how Alex is playing it now. It's slightly involuntary because he's such a drunk that he just gets to a point where he doesn't have any agency over what he wants. But he is like, yeah, I'm not going to fucking touch it. It's professionalism with him. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. You should remind him that he tried to set a drink on Captain Glenn's head a couple episodes back. But
I would say that he tried to, let's thank you for smoking kind of Aaron Eckhart rebrand this whole thing. He was trying to give him water.
Right.
All right, so Gere and Mads start speaking Spanish to one another, which just disgusts me. Does it not you?
Not really.
Okay. Not that it's Spanish. It's just that, you guys have this thing now. Mm. You're in a little Harriet the Spy treehouse together, speaking in some strange coded tongue. All right. I hesitate to do this. I know I'm in a funk today, but
oh boy,
you're not helping me very much.
Well,
I don't want to direct my anger at you. I feel like that's like a psychological trapping. I'm just lashing out at you, but I've already lashed out at him.
You
The
can keep
audience.
going if you want.
The audience. It's not my fault. So I'm sorry. I've been nasty tonight.
Very. Very.
But again, how many shows have we done? Hundreds
Well,
and
then
hundreds?
you yell at the audience. You don't yell at your producer or your co-host.
Well-
you let them have it, and then we move on.
Oh, well, okay. Let's do this. Fuck both of you. Let's get to an ad break. I'm kidding. So Gary and Mads, speaking Spanish, Gary confronts her for hitting on Alex. And Alex comments on how messy this whole thing is. Says, I don't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole. And we move on to the sea rats once again entering into another dimension. If you drink enough, you can time travel. We've talked about it before. This is Quantumania happening on reality television. It's never been done like this before. Daisy is just... She's on a different planet. They're all... It's just... I was watching with my wife, and it's just amazing. The consistency... The consistent amounts of getting this drunk. I mean, it's every other night. Given the work they have to do. I know we've talked about it before, but it's astounding.
Quite shocking. Now, Dylan, just where are we in the episode? Are we in the vans headed back?
We're in the vans. Let's go back. Yeah,
now, this is where Mads does something interesting because the vans are separated by boys and girls. And Mads immediately gets in the van and says how disgusted she is and how lame Gary is.
Yeah.
And that, we'll see how that plays out a little later.
Right.
And Gary is the beneficiary of one thing, which is limited options. Which is always a pathetic place to be. Alex passed out. Gary's there. Any port in a storm.
Any port in a storm. Now, Chase is thankfully here to vibe. He wants to have a good time. He wants to shake out all this tension. And the way that you do that is you play a game that was invented by pedophiles. What Alex is going to, or what Chase is going to set up is all of the sea rats kind of shaking hands the way the dogs do. You insert your snout into the anal cavity of another friend, and that's how you really get to know them. Green dot, blue dot.
Twister.
Left leg here, blue leg there. It's a great game.
By the way, you want to talk about range. Twister is something that 6-year-olds can have fun with. And also, it can be completely sexualized for adults, as you mentioned, someone's nose in someone else's asshole.
Yeah.
I don't think Monopoly has that range.
Oh, Monopoly can get pretty sexy.
Huh?
Yeah. Because if you treat it like let's say you role play, right? Like, Pat, what's your favorite franchise of pornography?
Latinas with heels.
No.
Oh.
I'm talking about IP.
IP.
Property.
Oh, okay. Oh, my favorite property, Boardwalk.
No. The porn is the property management porn thing.
Oh, okay.
Where, they replicate that really sad thing that happens across America. Well, if you can't make the rent this month.
Property sex. Yeah. Sorry.
God damn it. You do it like that.
Wow. Boy, does that fulfill a lot of people's fantasies. I had no idea there was so many creepy sons of bitches that are like, boy, I hope she can't make rent this week.
Well, I got into how'd I get into property management? Yeah. Just kind of
fell into it.
You know what? Honestly, it found me. You're a creep. All right, so
Marry, Fuck, Kill. Do you want to hear how this landed? This was Mads, her Marry, Fuck, Kill.
Yeah.
Bang Alex, marry Colin, kill Chase. Gary was left off the list. I'd say that's more of an insult than being killed.
Yeah, that's being Thanos snapped.
I think he took something before he came in here tonight, Caleb. I'm going to give him a drug test. Can I have a hair follicle, please?
What do you think I took?
I don't know, mushrooms?
No. Where did the sun go today? I mean, it was supposed to burn off.
These
Never came
weathermen.
out.
Hey, what do you do for a living, Channel 4 news guy? Yeah, you can't predict. That's your only fucking job. You can't predict that it's going to be.
Yeah.
Bitch about this all the time.
Yeah, and they all have those cute, stupid names like Thomas Tornado.
How about Johnny Mountain?
Dallas Rains. Get out of here. What's another one? Summer Carlsbad. All right. You know what I think it is?
What? Your attitude today? Is that?
Yeah, you know what I think it is? I just don't want to talk about Below Deck.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, come on. It's our favorite show to recap, Dilly.
Yeah, I don't know. God, I'm going to see my therapist tomorrow. Something's going on.
Oh, man. Got to get a tune-up.
Yeah.
You know what hasn't gotten a tune-up in a while?
Parsnip.
This fucking boat. It's a jalopy. It could sink
Can
at
you
any
look
point.
that up? I think it's jalopnik.
It's jalopy.
Before we get to the next day and like all the smoke and stuff and like the Gorilla Glue that was holding the engine together melting and then being burnt to smithereens. There's that thing where Gary does that, the red-faced, drunk, lean, bad breath,
Siggy's.
And he's like accusing her of being manipulative, and then Alex comes down and he's like,
See, that's what I'm talking about.
You've proved my point exactly. What? There it is. You've proved my point exactly. What the fuck are you talking about? And then they somehow kiss. Mm-hmm. It's just astounding. What is it, Kalen?
It's jalopy. And jalopnik.
What is jalopnik? Is that a Ruski spaceship that blew up or something?
Yeah, I think that they had a chimpanzee in there.
Yeah.
His name was Freckles.
Right.
You sons of bitches.
Yeah.
Put your grandmother in there if you think the spaceship's fucking flyworthy.
You know what? I love that, actually. That's so fucked up to do to a fucking animal. Put
an old woman in a wheelchair in there.
Right. Because how many of these fucking decrepit old dying elderly people?
If I'm 80 and I'm pooping, if I'm eating basically all my food's mashed up or I'm eating it through a straw, put me in a spaceship that might blow up.
Yeah. Because, like the liver spots and whatnot, just fucking put them in a goddamn thing and they can be closer to the heavens. What's jalopnik, Kayla?
See, that's what I'm trying to look at. It's like an automotive blog.
Maybe that's
I'm
it.
seeing it's a slang term for bitch. These are just some of the
there you go.
general
All right.
Google.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey,
they
don't only kiss, Dylan. They proceed to make out all over this boat like it's a scene from fucking Shades of Grey, okay? But Gary, he's looking really pathetic here. If there was a book written about him, it should be called The Spare. Because he's a backup plan.
Give me the book trailer.
The Spare?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I'll do a voice. This summer.
Okay.
Who wrote The Spare?
I don't know.
Who wrote Shades of Grey? One man will lose all self-respect and wait till another guy passes out, blackout drunk, to make love to the woman that he's had a... I suck. Sorry.
No. It's okay, but he has to have a profession. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So he's an auto mechanic, obviously.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, I got it. So it's The Spare, right? Kills somebody, finds a twin of them, and then it's just hilarity ensues,
Now you realize Harry, what the hell is the Prince guy? That was the name of
Prince
his
Harry?
book. Prince Harry he wrote a book called The Spare because he's the backup.
Can I tell you, I am so tired of these fucking people.
Oh, no.
Talking about their problems. Shut up. I'm not Pierce Morgan or anything. I don't know anything about Meghan Markle. I've seen the clips of her on Suits. So I'm not going to say you should have known they were racist. Like, what'd you expect? It's gross stuff. She can be grossed up by gross stuff, but just be grossed out by gross stuff not on Oprah and Montecito. Go away. I don't know. Nobody needs to fucking... People are obsessed with the Royals, though. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Does Cherie like the Royals?
No, she doesn't give a shit.
I'm English, and I don't give a shit.
Oh, that's right. His mother's from England.
I'm a citizen, and I could not care less for either of them.
Yeah. terrible episode tonight, huh?
I think we're doing great.
I'm really sorry to everybody. I'm zonked out on mushrooms. That's why. All right, so
Next morning.
the regret has a stench to it the next day. Mads wakes up with something grim chasing after her. And it's the memory, a vague one at that, of a fleshy kind of Kool-Aid man assaulting her with his mouth. Now, Sea Dog and Daisy have to kind of patch things up. Is this where they go up and have a little combo?
Yeah, and they work things out pretty quickly. He denies that his comment at the tip meeting wasn't about her, which is an insane denial because it was 1% talking about her.
So here's what's happening. I think, and I don't want to be all jet fuel doesn't melt steel beams or whatever it is. But I think that Gary and Daisy and Sea Dog were probably already a thing. Which is why Daisy took so much offense.
Vanderpump Rules kind of thing going on here?
Well, they've got to inject all these shows with that kind of smut, Next thing you know, we're going to have some sassy, heavily closeted DJ working on the next vessel. DJ JK, you are a king. And it makes me sad to say that because you're going to turn into even more of a monster with all this heat. But you deserve it. You're amazing. All right, so yeah, they patch things up.
I like that theory though because this is I'm not giving anything away. They played at the tail end of this episode the trailer where Colin and Daisy do in fact make out. Mm-hmm. So okay, I like that.
And they made out with a familiarity that Jim wishes he had with Daisy.
Interesting.
Like they've done it before. Like a Richard Gere flick. Did he not have the gerbil up his ass? It never was a thing.
Well, he blames Sylvester Stallone for starting that rumor because he was supposed to be in a Sylvester Stallone movie, and then he backed out, and then Sylvester Stallone started telling everybody that he likes to put gerbils up his asshole.
Such an odd thing that took root because it's just such a nonsensical thing. Like, who would derive pleasure from that? I mean, it's first and foremost, it's animal abuse. Mm-hmm. But second, those nasty little paws just scraping and crawling and trying to do everything.
Wreak havoc on your inner cavity.
What kind of sexual deviancy is that? I mean, such a rare form. I don't think that's Richard Gere, but who knows?
Imagine being the emergency room op.
Yeah,
she had to make the call. That's uncomfortable.
Yeah. And the emergency room person's like, "Did you have a tiny little velociraptor in here?" And Richard Gere's like, "What an insane question you just asked me."
I loved you, an Officer and Gentleman.
What was the one with Edward Norton?
Oh, that's a good one.
Primal Fear.
Yes.
Yeah.
Underrated film.
Underrated.
Little spin at the last 5 minutes of the film.
Hell yeah.
Should I give it away?
No.
Okay.
He's gay.
No, he did it.
Yeah. All right. So Gary says that if you have to go up against Daisy, you have a target on your back. So you just have to agree with her. That's such gaslighting mama kind of shit. Like, what are you doing with that sentence?
I believe he tells that to Colin.
Yeah. Do you mean to say that when she's angry with you, she is angry with you? Well, what are you talking about? You have a target on your back.
It was a dumb thing to say.
She's trying to assassinate you. All right. So we talk about Gary and Mads with Daisy and Gary and Mads and Lucky. Gary says that Daisy tries to cock block him all the time. We cut back to the single time when it kind of happened. When Daisy told a girl to get back to work. What a bitch. All right. It's taken a long time to get here, but we are here now. It's an important
part of the show.
Yep.
It's time.
Kalen?
Yep.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
For the preference sheet meeting.
All right. Charter number 4, 6 guests Jim Blumenthal, a.k.a. Big Jim, is a returning charter guest, and according to Glenn, their best charter from last season. Jim did very well with his RV dealership, selling a bunch of units during the pandemic. He enjoys showing off his Bentley, big SUVs, new Ferrari, and his mansion located in the great outdoors of Colorado near the mountains. Also, apparently, Daisy took a little ski vacay to Colorado at some point in between charters and hung out with them.
Oh, okay. Egg on my face.
His girlfriend, Veronica Morris, is a registered nurse. The two of them are accompanied by their friends, Ken and Christina Good, along with Rick and Marnie Gruich, all of which were on the last charter, or on the charter last season as well. No dietary requirements.
Nice.
Day one, the guests want water sports to be prepped and ready, and for dinner, they'd like a traditional Sardinian dinner. Each morning, they want to do a little yoga on the deck, if they wake up early enough. Night 2, they want a seafood palooza dinner, followed by talent show number 2.
Yeah.
They had one last season, which prompts Gere to inform everyone that he will not be stripping again. He also apparently has no other talents, according to him.
91 pots.
Well done.
You did that like a local news broadcaster.
Thank
Now
you.
back to the studio.
Gary says he will not be stripping again as he has no discernible talent. Now to the weather for some bullshit inaccuracies. All right, so meanwhile, fun stuff with Sea Rats. Chase smells like wet garbage, and we get to Colin and Daisy. They mend things, and the throuple is back on. Alex asks Mads if it's true love. Alicia makes lasagna and preps for the next day. And Glenn hops into a comfy bed.
Don't forget, Tolan took a huge shit.
All right, so next day, oysters arrive. Gary says, oh, my favorite. What? Gary, you're not going to eat them, okay? Get out of here. Let's get to the guests. I have no idea who these people are. I've never seen them before in my life. Did you feel the same way?
I don't remember them at all, and I talk about this show for a living.
Yeah.
No memory.
Right. All right, so, yeah, like I talked about, the familiarity with these people is a little, little nuts. He's like, where's Glenn? It's time to sail. What's your name? For a little sun time snacking, we've got horseradish and beef fillet sliders.
Okay.
How do you feel about that?
I don't know. It seems like something they'd pass around at like low budge people on a budget for a wedding, like when you're entering in.
Did you say low budge?
Low budge. Low budge.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, they buy them frozen at a grocery store and then they heat them up. Make
Oh,
them
like a little, like a White Castle kind of thing?
Yeah, exactly. Throw a little horseradish on there.
Yeah.
I don't know. Not for this.
Can I
podcast.
tell you something? Beef and horseradish is one of the most delicious things in my world. But people are too often not brave enough with the root. I want to feel the sting of the horseradish. I don't want it to taste like a tepid mayonnaise. Throw a little kick in there. Get my nostrils humming. All right, let's set sail. Glenn, we beep-bopped all up and down the coast. Oh, yeah? Did you go to Positano? Loved it out there.
Beep, 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 beep. Oh, hey. Yeah, what have you guys been up to? It's nice to see the Colin and Daisy are still here. Beep, beep, beep. I love people that are unaware that someone else is in a panic.
Right.
Like, have some self-awareness. Like, leave the man to his work. There's smoke coming out the rear of the vessel.
Yeah.
And Glenn clearly seems panicked.
I think the guy...
Beep, beep.
The guy caught Glenn. He rolled up on one of his horrors, and I think he wants to do it with him.
Do it with him.
Yeah.
Come on, let me do it. I'll dig the hole.
Hey, Glenn. So Positano. I've been to Positano. Do you know? All right. Sorry, my brain is not working tonight. Pat, what happens next?
Oh, smoke starts coming out of the engine room. The boat's on fire, man.
Right.
Yeah. So then they realize they should anchor immediately,
Yeah.
And then snacks are offered as smoke bellows through the rear of the boat.
Yeah.
And then I always love this because Daisy continues to be pretty evasive to the guests as they're kind of confused about what's going on. You know, they're in the middle of the ocean with a boat on fire. And I was thinking, I bet this is how some of the crew members from the Titanic behaved, you know, to the guests.
Yeah.
Excuse me, young man. Is everything all right?
Yeah.
Of course. Nothing to see here. Enjoy your ambrosia salad.
Right.
Next thing, an hour later, we all know what happened.
Right.
You got Leo. You got Kate up there on the tippy top of that fucking front of the boat.
Yeah.
It's 90 feet in the air.
Right.
It's going to come crashing down.
Yeah.
Fucking told them to enjoy their ambrosia salad.
Yeah, no. It's crazy because like everybody, like kids are being thrown off the side into the cold waters that will surely kill them. And people are like, hey, do you know what boat stands for? Break out another 1,000. It's like, dude, fucking the Titanic is sinking right now. He's like, you know why we haven't seen any stews in a while? Why, man? You know that vessel. It's kind of like it's like a spectrum of good and evil. James Cameron he did a magnificent job with that film.
He really did.
Such a great job.
He really did. And, you know, and I'm tired of all these people always going like, oh, all he had to do was swim till another boat picked him up. Like, no.
No, the waters were too cold.
So then when they say that, I go, you know what you do? You want to know how it was?
Yeah.
You go to your local Red Lobster and ask the staff if you can stick your arm in the lobster tank.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you'll know.
Totally.
You won't last 5 seconds.
Oh, okay. So are you saying that the people who were in the waters after the Titanic died because they were just getting chewed up by lobsters?
No. It's cold.
Oh, okay.
It's cold.
Yeah. We got to finish the show, but I'm
all right.
It's crazy that you said all the things you just said.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, so Alicia...
Jack's like, yeah, I've done this whole ice bath thing before. It's not fun.
All right, Alicia, she figures a good workaround for all those critiques of Glenn saying that there's too many delays in between courses. She's going to do family style. Yeah. Genius.
And people also say it's like, it's just this, and it's like, well, you can boil anything down to that.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just this.
Lord of the Rings is just the story of a little tiny man going to a lava. Mm-hmm. See, I did it. Put on Titanic. You'll watch it. Trust me, you'll watch it.
Colin finds the issue with the boat. You see there's oil leaking out of a part.
Yeah.
And it's the C30 turbocharger,
Yeah, he's like, the duct tape didn't work.
No. But, all right, so a couple things about this. And then once again, I can't believe this crew. And, I love this show, and I love all the Sea Rats, and I love Glenn and whatnot. But the pure incompetence on display here. Okay, first off, they got to order apart the turbocharger, right? So they make
C-130 turbocharger,
and they find one in Amsterdam. Good job, Captain Glenn, after your 9th phone call. And then they're going to have it shipped here. All right, call me crazy, and if any Sea Rat wants to correct me, couldn't you weld that turbocharger back together? Isn't it cheaper to just get a welder out here?
You think he has a fucking...
They're fucking flying a part in from Amsterdam. Go get your local fucking,
the spare
welder to come in here.
Yeah.
All right, that's part one. Part two, before you go ahead, and I'm getting ahead of myself here, but we're almost done the episode. Before you test whether or not this works once said part is installed, and there could be fire, there could be an explosion, I got an idea. Why don't you get the paying guests off the fucking boat into that tender and then have a beach picnic while you test the boat?
Good point. I love that.
Pure incompetence.
Because, what happens if you turn on, it was a C-135.
That's right.
The whole thing fucking blows up. I mean, the likes of which, it's bad. Mm-hmm. There's blood. There's bone. We have no show.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's a good point.
Everybody's fucking dead. We don't have the show. Mm-hmm. Except for Glenn, who lives, to continue killing. He was put on this earth for a reason.
That's correct.
A lot of people think that disease and famine, mosquitoes, stuff like that are kind of divine Mother Gaia-like ways to kind of curb the effects that this monstrous species has on the planet. But there are things like Glenn that get dotted throughout the world as well.
Yes.
And they play their part.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Dill?
Yeah, sorry.
Can we jump to dinner?
Yeah, let's go to dinner.
You want to give a critique on your thoughts on
I would love to. So Alicia has been getting criticized for her timing. Because how can you put out 3 plates of food 20 minutes apart? It's an impossibility. So her solution to this is to trough it. Yeah.
That's a pig noise.
I think so. Yeah, I think people got that. You're telling me you could not taste that one was chocolate, one was vanilla.
I've been drinking
strawberry.
white wine to celebrate my accomplishments earlier, and then my taste buds were numb at that point.
Right. So yeah, dinner is Sardinian. It's local octopus, frigola with clams and shrimp, chicken with oregano, and as is customary with a below deck meal, burrata. Totally fine. And I kid with Alicia. I think she's doing below deck. I like eating family meal. I think family meal is a very, why do we sit down to have dinner? Mm-hmm. It's not about the food. It's about the people.
Do you know there was a study out today that said, are they called CR codes? When you just put up your camera?
QR codes.
QR codes. Restaurants are starting to get rid of them because they're say it's taking away the true experience of eating at fine dining. And I couldn't agree more.
Could not agree more. And it is about the food. Don't get me wrong. The food is important, but it really is just a bridge between people, between worlds, between cultures. And Alicia did not do that tonight. But it was good. It was fine. It's always fucking cheese on tomatoes with these people. It's just always. All right. So dinner ends and we find out why the guests are so beloved. They go to sleep early. That's why. Alex is told to blade the teak because we've got yoga in the morning. Now, Alex is used to smaller boats, and he doesn't really think it makes any sense to clean things. They're just going to get dirty again, which
Great
is
point.
just fucking nuts, right? Why
wipe your ass?
Why would I wash
Wipe your ass.
Why would I wash my asshole? Was my note. And some people go, well, you don't have to put your hand up there, and I would argue, well, how is it going to get clean if you don't do that? All right, so Jim wakes up, says it'd be a good time to sail. Chill out. You're not wealthy enough to afford the boat. Please stop pretending like it's yours. I was too hard on the guy. He's a nice guy. Nice guy.
Nice guys can be annoying too.
Chase and Alex got a little feud going on. But that's for next episode.
Chase rats him out.
Well, I mean, sometimes you got to rat people out.
I understand.
First, you go to him, though.
I would.
So Chase leading the yoga was miraculous. I thought it was so fun. Such a great moment. And then the part arrives. We go sailing, and the bad luck is out of the way for a monumental sail with a flag that is unveiled commemorating Jim.
In his balls with a conch shell over them.
He has to know about Glenn. They wouldn't go through to these lengths. I mean, it's just nuts. All right, well, I'm sorry. Everybody.
Don't apologize. I think the audience had an amazing time. Don't you agree, Kaylin?
I know I had an amazing time.
There you go. That's producing.
Well, why do you say it like that?
I'm trying to be positive.
But you were doing it tongue in cheek. You can't lie like that.
No,
it's so
I wasn't.
obvious that you were like, it was a tough episode.
I had a great time.
Oh, the audience had a great time. It's like, what are you doing? All right.
So episode drops in 2 days. Our interview with Chase. You guys are going to really love it.
I was in a great mood for that one.
Oh, yeah. It was a great time.
It was so fun.
And then next week begins our journey recapping season 1, episode 1 of Below Deck OG. with Captain Lee. I'd forgotten that he was on that first season. And a girl named Adrian that apparently people despise. Can't wait to get into it.
Can't wait to get into it. Join us then. Join us on Patreon. Go to YouTube. Subscribe. I realize that being angry is probably not the greatest motivator to get people to do that, but we do need you to do that. Mm-hmm. So love you very much. I'm Dylan saying goodbye. Pat, say goodbye.
Later, dudes.
Galen.
See you later.